Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever, the Transpennine Series. It has to be said, since we last saw each other, I haven't done an awful lot. In fact, I should have actually prepared a bit better for this and found something nice for you to look at. There you go, that's one of our two trains that we have in our current fleet, just leaving Liverpool Lime Street Station. Isn't it absolutely magnificent? In fact, I should have used the smoke reduction mod just so that you can actually see part of the train. But nevertheless, it's too late for that now. So anyway, since we last saw each other, I've added some gravel in between the tracks just so we're not looking at grass. So it's slightly more as it should be. And I've also been doing some work over by Manchester Piccadilly. I've just added the junction there, which will eventually go round to Staley Bridge, and the Stockport lines going further down there. I meant to do that just to make it look all nice and pretty, and forgot to just bear with me. Where are we now? Brush gravel tool. I do apologise. I meant to do this, and then got distracted in the way that I often tend to do. So there we go, that's all nice, and I did mean to smooth that down as well. Isn't that nice and pretty now, ladies and gents? Of course it is. Of course, there we go, and there. So, and also I added these two buildings here, which are going to act as the Manchester control. So the signaller will be in there. I mean, it serves no purpose, but it's just for decoration, obviously. But it's nice to have decoration. So I've left space for us to perhaps have a car park. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put some Seat, VW, Audi, and BMW vehicles down. But it is 1853, so just in keeping with the realism aspect, we'll just leave that for now. So yes, that's pretty much where I'm up to. So anyway, today's task, I think, focusing on Liverpool Lime Street being our main hub. I think we're going to work on the line round towards Wigan and up to Preston. I think that's the next needed line. I would also like to point out that there are actually passengers waiting, which is nice. And at least it shows that we are actually making money. And then as well, the bus is pretty slow to pick up, but hey ho, that's just one of them things. Over in Manchester, I suppose this is the far east of our network. Again, a few people dotted about. It's nice that we've got some expansion going on this side of Manchester Victoria Station. And the trams are doing fairly average. I mean, whoops, sorry. Apologise for ringing your doorbell there. Yes, 1 out of 10, so it's not great, but I mean, hey, what can we really expect? So anyway, yes, to business. So we are going to have, I think we'll get a couple of passenger networks. I think we'll just connect the Liverpool area first with passenger networks, and then we will move on to freight in a future video. So Preston. Let's have a look. Now I'm feeling 5 tracks for Preston, perhaps slightly longer than 80 metres in length, 200 metres. I think that's going to be our main station length for passenger stations, especially on the West Coast main line. In fact, you know what I think? I think why not push the boat out a little bit and we'll have 320. There we go. So that is Preston Station. And I actually meant to put a through track in there. Just because, why on earth not? In fact, you know what? I might put another one in on that side as well. I didn't mean to do that. Too late. You've done it now, you moron. Right. So we'll put that track in there. I don't quite know what purpose that's going to serve, but hey ho, And I promise you, I have double checked. I am actually speaking to you now as I am doing the video. This is not a re-recorded thing. I've not been a complete moron this time, and I have got the recording software up and running. Anyway, and when I say up and running, I mean I've not got it on the mute. So that's good. So I thought on this side we're going to leave this empty with no platform for now. Preston could be quite a large hub in terms of freight. I mean, then we can have trucks taking it into Preston city centre, Blackburn, Blackpool, maybe Lancaster. So we can leave that open as a possible goods station. Who knows how that's going to pan out. But yes, so we shall set off on our merry way. Gonna just double track. Oh no, no loan. Right. Of which case it's time for the pork barrel mod. Now we're going to pick Southport. Shall we pick Southport? In fact, I think we'll pick just down here where the two... I mean, in real life, that does actually meet. It's just my dodgy map-making skills. We'll pick in between here so we can't forget where it is. But we are going to use... Whoops, not landscaping. All. There we go. We are going to use the pork barrel mod. So every time you place it, you get £500,000, which is lovely. So I'm going to keep them in nice, pretty, straight-ish rows. There we go. And that's just so that we know how many we have got. 10 million, that should be enough. So we're just going to leave those there now. In fact, just because we can. We are going to put that fence around them there. Just so that nobody can come and steal our pork barrels. There we go. We'll come back to that later, I'm sure. Don't want to have you just sat there waiting for things to happen. So we'll put the station down in Wigan. Now Wigan, we're going to have the long platforms as well. We're going to have 4 tracks in Wigan with an end street connection or a street connection on both. And I plan on Wigan actually being quite a busy city. So what we're going to do, we're going to have both and both. No, we're not. I tell a lie. We're not going to have that. We're going to have one at each end. There we go. Yes, there we go. So that is Wigan. So we're going to have the 4 tracks. However, we're just going to do these 2 tracks for now. And that's just because, obviously, why spend the money on 4 tracks when there quite clearly isn't the demand for that? So we're going to pop out here, get a nice little tunnel going on, because everybody loves a good tunnel. And over there, like so. Moving it down. We don't really want a bridge, it has to be said. Move that down. There we are. And we don't want a steep incline either, because otherwise our little trains won't be able to manage it. The D thirds, because that's all we've got to play with so far. It's quite upsetting, really. And bring that in like that. And then just chase that up with our other track. So yes, I mean the title of the episode is Heading Northbound, so I can only apologise for the fact when I say northbound I don't mean all the way to Carlisle, but it's a bit more northbound than Liverpool anyway. So yes, so that's there like that. Now what we're going to have to do, I mean we've got the 4 track. Now the 4 track will go down to Warrington Bank Quay there. Now this side of the line here will be the express lines, and these 2 here will be the slow lines, I've decided. But because in my infinite wisdom I've made the fast lines instead of the slow lines, then we're going to have to cross that over there. So we'll keep it with the 30 mile an hour. I can't imagine that a lot of vehicles are actually going to use this. I can't imagine a lot of trains are going to make use of this when we do eventually get going, but it's nice to have just in case we need it. So there, keeping with the 30 mile an hour. It's not particularly neat, but I just have a feeling that, well, that's a more useful junction than having them both coming across, because I don't particularly like using the double flip switch. I don't know why, I've just got a bit of a prejudice against it. Prejudice? Is that the right word? We'll roll with it. That's what we're rolling with. So we'll build that down as if we are going down to Warrington. And then we'll bring this junction across here. So we don't need to be particularly fast. 50 mile an hour I think will suffice. And that there, we've got no bumps in the tracks at all. It doesn't look like it. However, we shall see when we get running faster trains whether the coaches leap off the lines, as they so frequently tend to do. So there we go. We'll bring that one round here. We'll keep that at 75, I think. The only reason I put it at 50 for the other one is then they won't be flying in and out of Liverpool, as trains tend to do so often. So that'll come round to about 60 odd miles an hour there, so that's fine. Now I know that if I was playing Transport Fever to make as much money as I can, and I'm sure there's some people that are watching, or some of you that are watching, that are absolutely shouting at your computer monitors right now, or your phone screens, or however you're viewing this video. What is he doing? Why is he limiting the speed limit so much on the junctions? And that's simply because there is a good reason for that. It's just because it's... Oh, you didn't mean to do that, did you, nincompoop? Get rid of that, and there we go, both sides. Yes, and sorry, getting distracted. The reason for that is it's just how it tends to be in real life. There's always a speed restriction on most junctions on the British rail network anyway. We don't want those signals there, I don't think. I can't see us making use of them. However, I might put one for that way. Yeah, where's the harm in that? So yes, everything's fine, everything's rosy, and yes, we can go to Wigan. Oh, we've finished the line, excellent. I was half imagined there that we had to build the Wigan to Preston bit, but I forgot we'd already done that. Fantastic, so we'll just signal that up. Wigan, lovely. Now what I think we'll do is we will just do a little bit of planning ahead here. So we will put a nice little bridge over there. And I'm feeling... oh no, it's a bit ugly. I'm feeling a stone bridge. We'll go with a stone bridge there, and bring that round. That's not what you meant to do at all, is it? There we go. Don't do this to me, game. There we go. So that will come up through Wigan city centre. So this can actually end up being the main road, as opposed to what we've already been given there. Now what I'm going to do with this is then take it up to Bolton. Which then that can be the main road connection, because Bolton and Wigan, I can see them having a fantastic connection on this line. And there we go, on the railway line. So that is actually Wigan North Western. We do need to rename that Wigan North Western. And it's from Wigan North Western that we will eventually see the high-speed services from Warrington to Carlisle at the top here. Oh, you forgot to load the map in, you sausage. We'll just go and do that quickly. Therefore, we have far less lag. As you can see, we do tend to suffer if we've not loaded the map in correctly beforehand. There we go. Just take a quick tour of the map. I hope you're not feeling poorly at all. The rate we're flying round can give anybody a headache. There we go. Sorry, back where we were. The high-speed services up to Lancaster, Oxenholme, Penrith, and Carlisle, but they will also, so there will be the equivalent of the West Coast services there, which would then head down towards Birmingham and London in the south. We can then also have the Transpennine Express services, which will then run round from Manchester towards Wigan, Preston, basically, essentially up the same way. Northern services from Manchester to Blackpool. Oh no, I think they'll go through Bolton. Yeah, we'll see what we decide on that front. I mean, nothing's set in stone yet, is it? And then we will also have Wigan-Walgate, which will just have the Southport to Wigan, to Bolton, to Manchester services. So that will be a fairly infrequent service. So naturally, Northwestern is where it's all going to be happening. Anyway, you've got distracted now. What were you doing? That's what you were doing. You were about to put in. You can't do that. There we go. You were about to put in this here so that Transport Fever can't make a really steep junction, and you were about to do the same for there. There we go. Right, so that is what we are doing. So for Wigan Northwestern Station, there's a pretty good coverage of the entirety of Wigan. We're just going to put a bus station in there. And then I think, why on earth not? Let's do that. So Bolton bus station can be there, and we'll put bus stops down there. So we're going to actually have, and I know that I literally just said earlier, I'm not a fan of bus stops or using buses to connect two towns together. We'll put that there so that people have a quick link to the station if they don't want to go over the bridge on the bus. I'm not a big fan, in all honesty, of using buses to connect towns. Don't like it at all. But we're doing it because then we can at least generate some demand for when we do put the Bolton-Wigan line in later. And if it's not popular, then we can just take the buses off and leave it to the train. So Wigan, Bolton, Bus 1. We're using Orange as I believe it's Stagecoach that operates in the Wigan area. I can't honestly say for Bolton. I think First Group have quite a few bits and pieces in the Bolton area. We'll use I tell you what, we'll use, which one's faster? They're slightly faster. So we'll use the omnibus, and we will have, we'll have 4 of them and see how it plays out. Off you go. So it's a nice Russian omnibus there, so we've got some nice Russian print. Quite ironic that we're not using the Stagecoach for the Stagecoach services. But there we have it, some nice Russian propaganda on there. Who knows what that says? If there put my teeth in. If there is anybody that is Russian that wishes to translate, there you go. It's on there, just where the mouse is. And that's enough reading time for you. Excellent. Right, so we've got the bus connection in there. Lovely. And Preston. So we're going to have just a regular... I think we're going to have the main bus station by the train station. We'll have them all connected up nice and efficiently. So we'll slot that in that corner there. And just... that looks horrendous. Get rid of that. Try again. Nope, that looks dreadful as well. You're not doing very well here, are you? Gravel tool. That'll do. Just to patch up that little section of grass. So we're just going to have the Preston bus. So that's going to be our main bus station. And we're going to have that just merrily making its way on. And we'll leave it like that, I think. maybe add another bus stop in there. That's an adequate distance. We're also going to use the dark blue, thank you Mr. Autosave, for the Preston bus as well, as Preston bus is a dark blue. Preston bus 1. Horse and carriages again, which I believe that this route is operated by RATP, R-A-T-P. I think Preston bus is, but this is not my area of expertise in the slightest. So we're just going to have 2 of those. They can do their thing. We can always add some more in later, should we desire. So there we go. And all that's left to do is connect them with the train. So this is going to be, this is a northern rail route. So we're going to go with a purple. And we're going to have white carriages on this. I think we only need 5 carriages. Do we need 5, 55? No, we'll go with 6. Why not? Oh, we've not made the line yet. God, I tell you, it's disgraceful, isn't it? Right, so there we have it. Liverpool, Lime Street, round towards Wigan Northwestern, and then up to Preston, and back down again. So that can be purple. In fact, no, we'll have we'll have it as purple. There we go. So NT for northern trains, Liverpool to Preston. Excellent. Fantastic. So we've got that. We'll just double check that it's all set up right, and it's all going to work as intended. That's going to come across fantastic and into Liverpool like that. Wonderful. Wonderful. Liverpool to Preston, off you go. There we have the first Northern Rail train with its nice white carriages. Setting sail. And train for there. So we are actually going to have to do some spacing out work there, just to ensure that they're, well, equally spaced. Right, they're going to have to get their act together there, because we don't want to be interrupting the Transpennine services. No, sir, we do not. See the happy citizens of Liverpool celebrating there, the first connection to Preston. Why would you not be excited at the fact you now have access to Preston? I mean, I can imagine that's quite an exciting prospect. That woman there is just not bothered at all. I mean, she's not even looking at the train leaving. She's doing an interesting chicken impression. Or penguin impression, should I say. So Liverpool is eventually going to be quite the hive for activity there, which is what we want, really. It certainly is what we want. And then we'll be able to move on to other areas for creating those. There we go. So let's just follow this little fella, make sure that he gets to the station all right. So there we have it. From other, we made a staggering £10 million there through those pork barrels earlier, which I'm absolutely ashamed of. I tell you, I feel like I've cheated. But it's not cheating, because there is... whoops, don't mean to do that. There is another pork barrel mod where every time you place one, you repay 500,000. So we will, I promise you, we will make use of that when we are in a financial situation to do so. So all you need to view it as is that we're just taking out a little bit more loan. We're just going to a different bank to do that more loan. So how are our team stagecoach doing there? Have they actually... Is there another one? Ah, there's another one there, so he's just on his own. Is he bus 1? Not bus 1, why would he be bus 1? We've got other buses that we've built since then. They're spacing out nicely, it has to be said. But nobody seems to be going there yet. At all. Come on, you can now get to that town on the horizon, Wigan. I'd have thought that I wanted to have been out there straight away. Not that there's anything wrong with Bolton, of course. But it's always nice to explore when you can. So just back in Liverpool, our two rival companies there, the Transpennine and the Northern, both ironically similar in design. I mean, obviously, when we get a few more vehicles to play with, we can alter that. How's this one doing over here? Excellent. Well, we've made good progress in this episode. It has to be said. At least we've got. Well, it's looking more like. Well, things are starting to take shape. I don't know what it's looking more like, but it's looking more like it, whatever it is. But things are definitely starting to take shape. And I mean, yes, we've had to use the port barrel, but we'll try our best to not have to use that. But again, we wouldn't have actually got anywhere if it wasn't for the port barrel. We'd still be sat there watching our trains run backwards and forwards between Manchester, Victoria and Liverpool, which obviously would be rather boring. Plus, I don't want to have to skip ahead too much between the videos, because I don't want you to miss out on all the fabulous action that could be had. So yes, I think next time what we're going to do is, I mean, the problem we've got is that an airport doesn't actually make money. And I say that, I mean, obviously nobody needs to fly between Manchester and Newcastle because we're taking off the business from our trains if we use aeroplanes. Plus, it's only over the hill. So I can't put an airport down for Manchester Airport because there are a lot of trains that actually come through Manchester to Manchester Airport, the Transpennines, Northerns, etc. So we're actually going to be using Stockport as our Manchester Airport terminus. So the Northern services from Liverpool to Manchester Airport will now go Liverpool to Stockport, in my infinite wisdom there. So Stockport is going to be our substitute, because I thought a town called Manchester Airport would be rather strange, especially if there wasn't an airport there. So yes, next time I think we're going to end up focusing on our Liverpool to Liverpool South Parkway, Warrington, Manchester and Stockport lines. So we really are building up our network around Liverpool. As for the Merseyrail, the Liverpool to Southport, I don't quite know when we're going to put that in. Fingers crossed we will at some point, but I can't see that as being a big money maker, in all honesty. Sorry, Southport, but you're just going to get left out for the time being. But anyway, so now that we've thought about what we're going to do next time, it's time to wrap up this episode here. So I shall leave you with some trees. I was honestly expecting that to be a bit more spectacular than what it would be. So anyway, there we go. We'll focus on it from this angle. There. Excellent. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do subscribe. It means a lot. And obviously hit this video with one of those all-important likes if you did enjoy it. If you didn't enjoy it, do put a dislike. Please do be honest and put a dislike, but do leave me a comment as to why you dislike the video, and I shall see you next time. And how well timed was that? See you later. Bye for now.